We miss you over here, Jordan, but Elise has asked me to remind you, don't forget to change the nappies.
He's all over it, I promise.
yes, because it can be easy to be distracted when you're watching quality racing. Gee, it's a rubbish day for paddling, Elise. Much better to be sitting up here. But we've got some great races coming up.
We do, we do. I mean, for me today, I'm really excited to be watching
there in last year, but it should be a great race, Elise. Who do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, my bet's obviously on Katie, and I think what's really important with these seaboat racing, earlier on in the week we've had quite a crosswind, and so it's really played into the hands of the left-sided paddlers.
A formidable paddler, but she's just dropped off a little bit at the moment, but it's Du Bois, who is very quick over 200. It will be interesting to see if she can hold it together for the 500-metre race. A fast first 250 metres, Elise. So at this stage, I was talking earlier with Emma Wiggs about sticking to your game plan, no matter what the athlete alongside you is doing. Katie planned to perfection here, and really, and you can see Du Bois is going backwards at a great rate of knots there. She was good for 200, but she's going to struggle to beat anyone home the way this is panning out. And coming down to the line, it's a good, strong win there for Katie Vincent. Du Bois fighting again at the finish, should pick up the bronze, but it's Vincent with the gold, Maillard with the silver, and Du Bois holding on just to edge out Jensen and Jan for the bronze. So there you go. That's Katie will be pretty happy with that.
She'll be really happy with that. She's little claim there. I love that. She's had a big weekend. She's racing in a lot of events. I think potentially she's in the mix.
5,000 as well.
And there you go.
Nui when it came on the scene and became part of the Olympic movement. Of course, Lawrence is retired now, and we say hello to you, Lawrence. We know you'll be watching. But Katie has now stepped out of the shadow in many, many ways and is taking the lead for a young Canadian team. They've got some really good young canoe paddlers there, and with Katie sort of at the helm and showing the way, what a great pair of hands to have on the wheel.
It really is, and it's so good as well to see so many female seaboaters out here, and the depth is huge at the moment, and you know there's so much ahead of them between now and Paris next year, so they'll be all knuckling down for sure.
And great to see Maria Maillard there, the world champion from 2021, still paddling well. I'm not sure if she's doing...
You know, you go for a long warm down, you get a good lunch, a good feed in. She might go home. It probably depends on checkout situation today, because a lot of us have had to check out of our hotels. So bunker down, keep warm, and count down the minutes, I guess, until their 5K. Will be coming up in the K2 race soon, but she also won a bronze medal in the K1 200 the other day, so it's very exciting. They're all really fast out of the gates, and you know this old gal with the long arms struggles out of the gates with them, but they're excellent paddlers, and obviously you know they just had to adjust to the half race distance, but I think they're looking really good. They look really strong, and I think with the 500, like I said earlier, you know, you can have a good start, but you've got to be there at the end still. And
crew that won silver in 2021 but has a new partner. There's always chops and changes in the K2 boats, but we're underway in the men's K2 500 metres. This is, of course, an Olympic event, so these are the very, very best crews in the world at the moment. Since the World Championships last year, where they finished 8th, they had some very good races early on this week. Portuguese coming through to track them now. Across there in lane 2, that's the Hungarian boat that we need to watch. Coming through now, though, and the Portuguese are hanging on as well, but I think it's the Hungarians. This will be a popular hometown win. Yes, ahead of the Australians, and Portugal holding on to take the bronze, but a very well-judged race from Ben Snedas and Sandor Totka taking the gold medal. Nadas retaining his supremacy in this event, and this Sandor bugger you. He's like, hey, shake my hand. I can't, I'm too tired.
There's nothing quite like the 500-metre burn.
And you throw in someone like a Sandor Totka, who is incredibly fast over 200 together, and you have that mix. And I think that was one of the attractions with the 500 metres.
And you have so much change, I guess, within the race. Like you saw the Germans really take it out at the start there, and obviously then race strategy comes into it, and they just fell a little bit behind towards the end, and the Hungos and the Australians coming through. So it's an exciting race. I love watching it. It's one of my favourite events, the K2 500.
And good to see, I mean, when the 200 went off the program, there was some disappointment that a lot of the paddlers then would have, you know, there might be the end of their Olympic careers, but a lot of them have now transformed into not just the K2s, but also the K4s as well, which is a 500 race. So there's still plenty of opportunities, and great to see that Sandor Totka there, Balint Kopacz, is saying, well, Don't
what
forget
about me? Yeah. And it's interesting. I mean, I don't know where they're at, but a lot of the time at the World Cups, pre-Olympic qualifications, there's...
Yeah, mate, no worries. No worries, I'll get you one. Yeah, where would you like me to post it to? Very exciting to see some of these races going head-to-head. We have another Olympic event coming your way now. This is the men's C2 500, and gee, there's some interesting combinations in this race. And Sebastian Brendel, who told me at one stage he was retiring, but every time I come to an event, there he is. So great to see him paddling, of course. And there's the Spaniards. They are the reigning world champions. Let's see how they go. They were good in the early rounds. They've got a strong Chinese boat to contend with. In fact, it's the second of the Chinese boats which has gone out the quickest here. That is Yu and Yu.
And coming towards that 250 and, you know, sucking in those deep breaths and making sure they've got enough in the tank for the push home.
So it's the poles in front at the halfway stage. That is the combination of Kuchetski and Zazula. Breathing down their neck are the Spanish world champions, Garcia and Martinez. It looks like the Hungarians are lifting though. Korozensky and Fekete. You can hear the crowd in the background. They are really... It's a race between the Poles and the Hungarians. Poland and Hungary. Hungary getting the closest, and Hungary takes the gold just ahead of Poland, with the Spanish crew finishing third. But gee, a good morning for the Hungarians, and that is a breakthrough win for Hungary in this event. And you can see the excitement there from David Korozensky. He's pretty pumped.
I think so, and I have a bit of insider knowledge that was a race-off between...
Doing the same. I think there's a bit of a race-off there, and I know the Spanish have got another powerful C2 crew as well, and the Poles, as we've obviously seen here. It was the second of the Polish boats, in fact, probably the lesser known of the two Polish boats that really excelled today. So there's some interesting selections ahead for them as well. But that is a very well-judged race.
I always love watching the finishes of sea boats because their lunges really make a difference at the end. Whereas in the kayaks, maybe not so much. But, you know, it can be make or break for them when they time their lunges.
And if they get it wrong and they end up falling in the water, it can be very embarrassing.
It's a double negative.
It's a double negative because not only have you ruled yourself out of a medal, but you've also got yourself very, very wet.
It's cool to see how much, obviously, the Hungarians winning in front of a home crowd, and that's 2 in a row for Hungary.
Yeah. I mean, they've come into today with only 1 gold medal for the whole week. And I know there were some long faces amongst the Hungarian fans, but they've come out today and they've picked up 2 today, and maybe there's a possibility for more. And I know you're going to be excited about this race.
I am.
Elise. You've been in many, many races. Strong Australian contingent here at the bookends of the field. Young crews, 2 of them.
It's very cool to have both of them here in the A final. All of our girls this weekend have made A finals. Maybe the Poles will come through towards the end. So a lot of lead changes I'm expecting.
This is going to be a really, really interesting race. I would hate to try and predict a winner. I'm going to go with the Poles, maybe Izreki and Kolodzic, but I'm not going to. You cannot rule out Lisa Carrington in New Zealand. And look at her, she's already gone out, wants to make an impression on the field early.
Is often even split, first 250 to last 250, so you know they're always lurking in the background.
So at this stage, at the halfway stage, it's New Zealand with Carrington and Hoskin ahead of the Australians Clark and Stenoprise, and then in lane 3 the Polish combination, Carrington and Hoskin in front. It's the Platt and Wisniewski combination from Poland who are the biggest threat. Lisa Carrington, she's gritting her teeth, she's digging deep, she wants this gold medal. That is a very, very good race for the New Zealanders. Second is Klatt and Wisniewski, and the Germans, Pajek and Haidt, taking the bronze medal. But, well, you cannot take anything away from Lisa Carrington. And
she is amazing.
Hoskin.
Yeah, and, I mean, Alicia would just be learning so much from Lisa at the moment, and you can just see Alicia is such a good team boat paddler. I was doing K2 with Kaylee, and about a week and a half ago, we separated. It's like a breakup, hey? And Natalia jumped in, and for them to be able to turn that around into that result is huge and very exciting.
Yeah, well, Natalia was so good in the 200.
She was. She's a great little paddler.
Look at that daylight almost between the New Zealanders and the Poles, and yeah, very good. In fact, they were much closer than I thought, the Australian crew of Harlan and Drobot. But nice race as well for the Germans. They're still coming back from injuries, etc. So good to see them picking up a medal. It's been a bit of and all that work out, etc., etc. But I think Lisa Carrington and Alicia Hoskin has sent a very strong message today that they are a good, strong combination.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, You don't fix it.
Exactly. And I mean, like we've said already, this year is such a different year.
Yep, absolutely. So we've got 2 more finals this morning before the 5,000 this afternoon. And these are the mixed events, and they've only been on the calendar for a little while, but I sense, Elise Wood, that the athletes love doing these.
Absolutely. I mean, as a girl, there's nothing better than jumping in a K2 or a C2 with a guy and getting pushed along. No, but I think the guys love it equally because, you know, look at all our strong muscles as chicks. We're going to push all the guys home. You betcha.
When the blokes start to flag and it gets too tough for them, the women will come through.
Our time to shine.
Yep, come through and lift the boat over the line. So we're underway in this first of the C2 mixed 500 metres final. It's an exciting concept, as Elise said.
As we get towards the tail end of our program of the week, it also, or what comes into play is how many races you've done and how many races you've done today. And so, you know, have they done another C2 today earlier? Are they fresh coming in? That will really come to show in the last 100 metres. Approach the World Championships and approaching this potentially becoming an Olympic discipline, then why not?
But coming down closest to the camera, that's a very strong win here for the Kazakhstani crew of Yemelinov and Iskakova. Oh, good finish there from the second Polish crew, but it says there that the Hungarians got them. I'm not sure about that. That's Gonzal and Rumi, but no doubt at all about the winners, Yemelinov and Iskakova from Kazakhstan and Fantasy.
Seaboats often have some cool designs or some words on the front.
Yeah. Well, we saw your teammate Curtis McGrath's boat this morning, which he'd spent a lot of time on. Obviously.
Yeah.
I think he actually maybe got a designer in to help him with that, because that's the sort of thing Curtis would. Now, here we go. Let's just check this. So gold definitely for Kazakhstan. Yeah, they got there. The Polish crew got there. That's Zazula and Walzak got the silver, and Gonzal and Rumi taking the bronze. I thought so. It came up on the screen that the Hungarians got the silver, but it was Gonzal and Rumi who, wait for the official word here, yes. Yemelinov and Iskakova with the gold, Zazula and Walzak silver, and Gonzal and Rumi from Hungary third.
Champions last year. Yale and Riley had a race at the national championships against them, and it was a tight race. It was a really exciting race. Yale's just come off the back of the K2 final 20 minutes ago, so she's backing up very tight. But I know Alyssa and Jacko loved this race. They loved winning last year. They won really convincingly, and they had a really great race. So I know they're excited for this.
There is the problem, though, of the crew in lane 6.
It will be.
I'm tipping here between Portugal and the 2 Australian crews. Don't discount the Hungarians, of course. They've had a great day. Pardon me. They've already won 2 gold medals. Could they finish off this program with a gold? So we're underway, and it looked like the Bull-Jackson-Collins combination were a little bit slow out, but they've picked up the pace pretty quickly. So it's the 3 that we mentioned who are going out the hardest at the moment. That's Stoner Prize and Fitzsimmons.
He'll just be pushing Bully the whole way home, but obviously Pimenta and Teresa Portela coming through. It's very tight there. 0.2 between the top 3.
Yeah, really, really tight. And you know that Pimenta, he can paddle all day, so there's no problems there with him getting the distance.
They're both always there at the end, and you can see 100 metres to go there. They're absolutely giving it. Pimenta and Portela also really pushing through to the end.
The Australians, if Fitzsimmons, and I think the Portuguese will hold on, but that's a great race here for the Australians. Gold, oh, they did get the silver. There you go. Big finish from Fitzsimmons and Stoner Prize. The Portuguese ran into a brick wall with about 50 to go, but there you go. Winners are grinners. Alyssa Bull, Jackson Collins, gold medalists. And the silver going to Riley Fitzsimmons and Yale Stoner Prize.
Both know they have a really strong finish. You know, you've got to get out with the field, but you don't have to be that far in front of the field, and then you can just push home and just, I guess, unleash everything towards the end. You can see the grit on their face. It hurts towards the end, that's for sure.
And look at this finish here from the second Australian crew. They're still behind there, but they've lifted in the last 20 metres to pip the Portuguese. We've got the bronze, and Pimenta doubling over there. That was obviously a tough race for him. He's got the 5,000 this afternoon, of course, for the Australians. And good to see an Australian combination pushing them as well. So there'll be a bit of rivalry there when they get back home or get to the training camps to see So are you going to separate camps, the men's and the women?